Hello, and welcome to Phoenix Cinema Podcast Film Club, where a community of film nerds just like myself gather to rate and review films of our choosing. Why? Because we love movies, and we love talking about them with each other most of all. Joining me today is my co host, Luke Parker. How are you, Luke?
Yes, Chris, doing good. How are you?
Good, sir. Good to see you. And our fellow film club enthusiast, Hannah, is back again. Hannah, how you doing?
I'm doing well, thank you. Glad to be back.
Nice to see you. And our favorite film writer, Larry Taylor, is back to join us as well. Larry, good to see you, sir.
Good to see you, Chris, Luke. Nice to meet you, Hannah. Excited?
Pleasure to have you. And so the movie we're talking about today is the movie that everyone seems to be talking about at the moment, which is Curry Barker's new film, Obsession. You have a synopsis for us, Luke?
Yes, I do. Okay. Obsession is a darkly comic, visceral thriller that gives a nightmarish update to the monkey's paw trope. The story follows Bear, a hopeless romantic who uses a supernatural novelty item called the One Wish Willow to make his lifelong crush Nikki fall madly in love with him. He gets exactly what he asked for, but her newfound devotion quickly morphs into a terrifying, unhinged, and violent fixation. Anchored by an unsettling performance from Indy Navarrete, the film holds up a troubling, blood-drenched mirror to modern romance and a claustrophobia of toxic relationships. It's a shame we don't have Steph with us here at the moment to kind of tell us why he chose this movie, because, as you know, we were supposed to be doing 12 Angry Men today, but we had a last-minute alteration from him.
He pivoted hard after seeing Obsession. Yeah. Well, that's fine. I mean, maybe he's going to edit this anyway, so maybe he's going to edit in his own thoughts if he doesn't join us on this. Yeah, but that's fine. All right. So then let's Hannah, you're at work. You may get pulled off to work at any moment. So let's start with you then. What were your thoughts on this movie?
God. Okay, I watched it last night with one of my friends, and I left. I mean, I can't even describe it. I left the theater in like utter silence, but my mouth was open. I feel like my eyes were bugging out of my head, and then for like the 2 hours after watching it, me and my friend were trying to have a conversation about it, but really it was mostly like these bouts and fits of like nervous laughter and then just silence. I really enjoyed it a lot. There were some moments where just being as an audience member, I was having it was truly visceral. There were some incredibly shocking moments. And I don't know if now at the top is when we really want to like dive into specifics. So I'll just say I really, really enjoyed it a lot. And I'm very curious to see how you three like took in the movie and what you interpret from the story.
Had you had you seen any of Curry Barker's like previous shorts that are on YouTube or anything like that?
No.
Wait, it is Curry Barker, isn't it? I keep getting him and the director of
Yes.
Backrooms confused because they both kind of started on YouTube, right? Doing
And they're in their 20s.
yeah.
Stop
No,
it.
I had not seen.
Stop it.
But now I really will be diving into YouTube deeply.
Yeah. I recognize Curry Barker. The moment I saw his face, I was like, oh yeah, he pops up on my phone a lot. I don't really use TikTok or YouTube, but Instagram videos, he's always doing these short comedic sketches and he acts in them as well. Him and the guy who plays the obnoxious best friend, it's them two all the time. So
Yeah, they're buddies,
uh,
right?
yeah, Cooper Tomlinson, I think his name is. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Cooper.
Yeah, I have a feeling I think we're all pretty much on the same page with this. Yeah. What did you think, Larry?
Yeah, I saw it actually the first weekend it came out here, and I can't remember the dates right now, but I saw it the first weekend, um, and it wasn't very full. I went by myself, and it wasn't a full theater or anything. It was just kind of a normal reception. I saw it. I think it's like totally shocking. I was engaged the whole time for a bunch of reasons that we can get into. But I left it not thinking it was going to. I was like, that'll make some decent money. Be a pretty popular movie. And then just seeing it grow and like its ticket sales increase over the next couple of weeks, which is like that doesn't happen anymore. And so
Right.
that's what's so curious about me is like, what is it specifically about this movie, other than the sort of the youthful angle of it, that has gotten everyone so obsessed, for lack of a better term. But what is it that's driving it? It's such an interesting phenomenon, and I think it's a great word of mouth movie, I guess.
That's the thing. Yeah. Word of mouth seems to be,
Hmm.
and it's growing and growing. And I'm exactly with you, Larry. I'm like, and I'm sure studio executives, you know, in Hollywood are trying to figure this out, you know,
Right.
the same
Exactly.
way, um, because it does feel unprecedented. The the
It
just
really
this
does. I mean, in the
spike.
middle of the week, it is like this is number one on a Wednesday, and it's like
Yeah.
what? It's been out for a month. This is, and
Yeah,
they canceled the digital release, which they'd already planned. Like it's just going, it's going, but it
yeah.
came at the right moment. I think it was a perfect time for whatever reason. So
Do you think we're now going to see like a bit of a boom in this type of film off the back of this and Backrooms?
that's kind of what I'm like hoping for. I think in a certain way is that this is sort of one of those turning points, early '70s New Hollywood, 1999 sort of doors opening for new filmmakers, that sort of thing. But I would like to see it branch out of horror, because part of it is like, well, people just really love horror movies, right? And so of course these are going to be popular, so let's branch out and try some different genres, maybe with some of these young filmmakers, or maybe there's some on YouTube that I don't know about because I didn't know about these guys, that are uh, and here we are, I'm already bringing in Backrooms subconsciously. I'm talking about these guys like it's a pair. It's just that sort of like
They feel
phenomenon that's happening
connected.
right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just all, it's like they're as a pair for whatever reason. And uh I don't know, it's exciting. It could go one way or another, right? We could have just a whole lot of junk come out of it, or it could really be a new way for people to make money and make movies that they want to make and find new talent, and people that were raised on YouTube. Like you mentioned Monkey's Paw in your synopsis, right? Well, Curry Barker, he got the idea from a Simpsons episode that was about the monkey's paw. He'd never read the short story from 1818 whatever. His influence came from Simpsons, and then he turned it into this. So it's just the passage of time, and what youthful filmmakers are into these days is just changing, I think, right underneath our feet. So
yeah. Well said. And thank God for that. In a way, thank God for that. And the thing is, the sea change has already been happening, right? Because when we
hmm
talk about Curry Barker or Kane Parsons, they are only two of what, five recently? You had the Philippou brothers who
yes,
had their breakout only a couple of years ago with Talk to Me, and I can't remember what the second one was called.
bring her
Um,
bring her back,
Bring
right?
Her
I never
Back,
saw it. Yeah.
yes. And you have the other YouTuber, the filmmaker, what's his name? Mark Fishback,
Markiplier, yeah.
yeah, who did Iron Lung, and that Iron Lung is, I'm pretty sure the entire thing. It's one of those hilarious things where you look at the credits and it's just Mark Fishback, Mark Fishback, Mark Fish,
Everything he
Mm.
does, right?
everything, yeah. And now you've got Parsons and you've got Barker, and it's remarkable, it's shocking, but it's incredible. It feels exciting
It
at a
does.
time when the conversation just seems to be that cinema is dying.
Mhm.
And the bell's been ringing for cinema for like the last 5 years, and now we're getting this
Yes.
influx of fresh voices and separated from any sort of IP, other than Backrooms has its own backstory, of course, but yeah, it's very exciting. It's very
I think
exciting.
so. I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, Luke, what did you think?
Yeah, it's pretty damn intense. So I went to see this with a few friends a few weeks ago, and we went to like a 10 p.m. screening or something like that, and we had a super busy day, and this is a bit random, but I don't drink coffee really. I only drink coffee when I feel like I need to drink coffee, right?
Mhm.
Um, because really puts me on edge. It makes me a bit anxious, gives me heart palpitations, and we'd had this really super busy day, and we got to the cinema at like 10 p.m. and I was like, "Fuck, I'm gonna fall asleep during this movie."
Mm.
So for some reason, I ordered myself a black coffee, and that coffee was not necessary because I sat, I sat after drinking this coffee. The movie moves along, and I love horror movies, but I don't watch many of them in the cinema, and I forgot how intense it is watching it on a big screen with that sound system compared to sitting in bed or watching it on your telly. It's a completely different experience, and because it's been so long since I watched one in the cinema, like I was properly on edge, and it was almost so tense it made me feel a bit nauseous because it's non-stop. It's really non-stop. So yeah, it was a very visceral viewing experience for me, and I think the film is really, really great. I think it's full of really interesting ideas. It's full of really, really memorable shots, and in particular, there's a moment, probably the most shocking moment of the film, and it's you kind of anticipate that it's going to fall into some of its these like typical horror tropes. I'm thinking of the moment where you have two characters sat in a car and they're concentrating a bit too much on the background, right? You think someone's going to pop into the background and just stand there and like move away or slowly move closer to them, but no, that's not the approach he decides to take, and it was just full of really shocking moments like that, and it was genuinely the first time in a long time that I kind of had really felt kind of quite fearful watching a movie as someone who watches a lot of horror films. So even just for that alone, like I have to respect it.
Yeah, what? One thing that really struck me with the movie is that yes, it's horrific, it's scary, but Curry Barker seems to have mastered this tone of having it be comedic as well. And one never takes away too much from the other. It is still so creepy. But the movie, to my surprise, is fucking hilarious. It's so funny. And
I don't think the film would work anywhere near as well as it does if it wasn't. Like it's almost.
It has to have that. It has to have that tension break.
That.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When he goes back to the little gift shop place and the cashier, who is I can't remember. Is that someone famous? I can't. It's been a while.
I don't know. I didn't recognize him.
Either.
Okay, so funny though. Just like right in the middle of like this panicked, and he's like, "Wait a second, I don't know what you're talking about." All that, right?
Yeah. I'm fucking with you, dude. We moved them. They're right.
Yeah. And then calling the number on the back, another great one.
Oh, amazing!
That's really funny, but also kind of like unsettling the way that guy is so nonchalant about it, right?
Yeah. It's just, was it like you want to put through like was it a cancel request or something, or
file a cancel request or something?
Yeah. We don't do that, but you just made it sound as if you fucking could.
right.
Yeah, it's great. And when I think about Curry Barker's online skits and all that, they were all, from what I saw, comedic. So he has that funny bone and he deploys it, and I think he deploys it smartly. And just thinking about that scene you mentioned, Luke, probably one of the biggest jump scares of the movie, as horrific as it is in terms of what happens, it's fucking hilarious when you realize that she's holding the brick against the wheel the entire time.
Yeah, it's almost like becomes comedic in its excessiveness. I think.
Yes,
like how excessively violent that moment is.
Yeah, it's listen,
you have to laugh because it's just you have to laugh.
And yet it's funny because I was in when I watched it, I was in a screening where I think I was the only one, and so sometimes it's really interesting where it's like, can people allow themselves to? Can they see it as funny? Sometimes I don't know if people quite get it. It's like, hey guys, it's okay. We can laugh at this. This is meant to be. This is intentional, you know. Oh, and speak of the devil, he shall appear. Who used a one wish willow to get Stefan on this call? Steph, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Just woke up from a nap, so
You're well rested. You're well rested.
We keep it professional here at the PCP Film Club.
You know, love team in another one. Show you how to grow up, 'cause you know there's no need to be someone. Feeling so numb when I need somebody, even though it's not funny. Didn't know what it's like to need.
Well, good to see you. Good to have you join. Have you met Larry?
I have not. Hello, Larry.
No. Hey, Steph, how are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Great.
You've met Larry only by editing Larry.
Yes.
From previous
okay.
episodes.
You
Yeah,
made
this
me
is
there.
my brother. It's my younger brother. He's the guy who
Oh.
composes the music for the podcast and edits us as well. So we've got him doing double duty.
This is why I'm always napping, guys.
Which is why I'll allow it.
I feel like we should throw you in the deep end here, Steph, and maybe go back a bit, and maybe you should tell us why you decided to pivot from why you wanted to choose this film and why you wanted to pivot from 12 Angry Men to Obsession.
Okay. How much of the conversation have I missed? long you guys
16
been-
minutes from what I'm seeing on my, which is, it was enough for us to all share our thoughts, and we're all in agreement that, yeah, it's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And hilarious too.
Cool. Why did I change? Yeah, so I was gonna pick 12 Angry Men because I hadn't seen it and it's been on my list for ages, and I probably wouldn't get around to it unless I threw it into the film club. And then I watched Obsession in the cinema, and I was like, this is great. And then a couple days went past after I'd seen it, and I was like, wow, this is actually really great. And I kept thinking about it. I could not get it out of my head. And then a friend of mine watched it, who I talked to, and we ended up just going back and forth about this film for a long time, like a week after I'd seen it. And new things kept coming into our heads, and we're like, "Did you think of this? Did you think of that?" And I hadn't actually seen anything from online, because I didn't want to. Sometimes people go a little too far online and start really grasping at straws that aren't there. Yeah, so I was like, this really seems like a conversation that needs to be had with a group of people, because this is just one of those films that you just need to discuss. So yeah, this is why I was like, you know what, 12 Angry Men can wait. Okay, they can get a little angrier for all I care, and we need to talk about Obsession as soon as possible. And also, it was fresh in my mind, so I was like, "Come on, guys, let's go!"
Yeah,
you guys got to see the film. And if it was, and it's also, I think, it's quite a good cinema experience as well, as opposed to just like waiting down the line and watching it on some sort of streaming platform or something. And yeah, so I just thought it was a great thing to talk about.
I'm gonna might be jumping the gun here a little bit, but Stefan, I want to know what you think of the music, because I think it's a really minor gripe for me, is that the only thing that kind of irritated me a little bit with the film is that I thought the music, although it was good, what's the word? It was almost a little bit prescriptive, as in like it was kind of telling you when you should, like, how you should be feeling in that moment, rather than just kind of letting the moment sit. It was I found it to be a little bit overbearing at times.
Dude,
But it was a cool score.
I am so pleased you said that, because I was feeling the exact same way. It wasn't something that irritated me throughout the movie. The music was fine, but there was one moment in particular where I felt like it was trying to lead me, and it was when he wakes up in the morning, walks into the kitchen, and she's laid his cat out on like a shrine on the floor. And the way Curry Barker shoots it, he slowly pans down. So he's taking his time before he reveals what the guy's looking at. And the music's like... And I'm like, I would have loved to have seen this in silence, because it's disturbing what you're showing us. You don't have to tell me it's disturbing. I can fucking see it. So yeah, I felt that too. And I feel like also with the music, it lent into this trope, which I've heard a lot lately over the last few years in film and TV, where the music goes and it just does that immediate quick cut to silence when we switch a scene or whatever. And I was like, okay, I feel like, and it happens 3 or 4 times in the movie. It's not necessarily a knock against it, but it was noticeable to me. I was like, oh, okay, yeah, all right. And I was curious too what you, as the music man, also thought about the music stuff.
I actually didn't feel that at all with the music. I didn't feel like it was telling me how to feel. I think it's a good, it's an interesting genre that they chose to use, because when the film opens, it's quite synthy. It's quite kind of like 70s, 80s like synth that they use, and I was like, oh, I actually quite like this. Like the opening theme is really interesting. It's really cool. I from that, I didn't feel like it was like, oh, the music is doing this, so I know something bad's going to happen. I think we all knew something bad was going to happen, regardless. Yeah, but I did feel like the beginning of the film, the music was better than the latter half. I don't know if that's just like being difficult to sort of capture these moments of horror with what's going on. Yeah, but I definitely didn't think that it was like, oh, this is, I should feel this way now, or like this is not really fitting in this scene. But it was more noticeable in a good way in the first half for me.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
I agree that my issues with it were kind of more in the latter half of the film, where like the tensions were really building to like properly boiling point. But obviously the music is there to an extent to kind of tell you how to feel, I guess, and that's totally normal, right? That's basically why it's there. But my issue is that this film at points goes a little bit too far, and like I said, just feels a bit too overbearing and too obvious, maybe.
I'm definitely there with you, Luke. Yeah, I felt that very briefly. I felt the same thing.
I think that impression you did of the sound, like you were talking about it, where it like ends, like they're pretty spot on, because I know exactly what you're talking about. And now I need to go back, I think, and watch the movie with the music in mind, because I remember the synth at the beginning, and I think maybe because that's such a common, like, overused type thing, that I just sort of let it wash over me in the second half. Maybe I wasn't even paying attention to that, but now next time I watch it, my ears are gonna be perked for that sound, for that cue. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and I feel like the movie is interesting enough with what happens that after a while that the music kind of fell away for me, and I was just so gripped by what's happening on screen that I didn't even notice it after a while. And that's, speaking of which, I mean, I don't think this movie can be successful without the lead performance by Indy Navarrete. I think the movie lives or dies on her performance, right? And
Absolutely.
It's
I think
really
she's pretty
great.
wonderful.
It's a great performance.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about the moments, when we see Nikki, real Nikki,
Trapped,
coming through.
right.
Yeah, trapped,
Yes,
and
yes.
trying to
Oh.
come through this other Nikki that he wants. And it's just, it happens quite a lot in the film. But when those moments where she snaps out and she's like, what the and then it comes back in, it's like, it's almost so snappy and so fast that we're like, what just happened? Like, we're still trying to grasp at what's going on. By the end of the film, you're sort of like, oh, this is what's going on.
Right.
But yeah, really great.
Those are some of my favorite moments when I was able to like actually get words going. It's those moments where she was able to break through, like, under that willow spell. Also, on a note, I was gonna say, there's some things that you guys have been discussing, like sonically, that I definitely maybe caught on to a little bit, but more like Larry. Most of it washed over me. The things that didn't, in terms of audio, were there were some moments when Bear is trying to sort of like Nikki's freaking him out, and he's trying to like lovingly like get her back into like a controlled mood. And there was some use of like tropey romantic music, which I really loved. And that was both very funny, and it really works because it's all a forced thing too. It's like without consent. So I'm like,
Right.
oh, this is such a great choice. And I don't know how it was mixed either, but I feel like it was mixed a bit with like the horror sounds going on while she's freaking out, and then when he starts talking to her, then some of the romantic music comes in. If you guys remember, I'd love to hear your
Oh,
thoughts.
interesting. I never clocked
It's
that.
almost like it's her psyche, right? Like she's feeling that, she's freaking out and the music's getting intense, and then he's like calming her, and then it's like, oh, I love him, and then so the strings come up. Interesting. Now I got to go back and just pay attention to the music next time. I'm not even going to be watching the movie.
Yeah.
Well, on these moments where the inner Nikki, her voice is trying to come out, yes, it's scary and it's jarring and it makes for some really quick jump scares. But I feel like the most effective moment is when she's just lying in bed and he's trying to sneak out of the bed without waking her. And she slowly speaks to him. And correct me if I'm wrong, everyone, but the way Curry Barker shot it, when we cut back to her in the bed as she's talking to him, she's half in shadow, but her mouth isn't moving, right?
Right, her mouth isn't moving. I don't think, at least in my memory, it isn't. But it's been
I think because I've seen it twice. I watched it. I had to watch it again to sort of refresh my mind for when you guys watched it as well. And I tried to focus. That was one thing I tried to focus on, was like, is her mouth moving or is it not? And I think it's shot in such a dark scene. Like the cinematography is quite dark, where it's like it's supposed to be sort of like, is her mouth moving? I can't really tell.
Suggestive,
like, is because then if it's not, almost like if it's not moving, it's more paranormal, because where's the voice coming from? But because the shot is so dark, it's like, maybe it's up to you to think if her mouth is moving or not,
He can get away with that choice, yes. But if her mouth isn't moving, it still makes total sense, because we're talking about fucking One Wish Willows here, working. So we are far down the paranormal at this point, which is it's just such a great creepy choice. But her voice, her voiceover work in that moment, I mean, she sounds like she's
like she's yelling from the closet, almost like she's talking from underneath something, or like she's like inside a trap of some sort.
Inside
like in
something.
a cave.
And she sounds younger than what she is. She sounds like a 12-year-old girl, desperately calling for help. It's so chilling.
It's a heartbreaking scene when you look back at it, because this is the only the moment that you really just see her for being Nikki, after the whole obsession wish after that he made.
I think that, like, I'm glad you mentioned that scene, because that's really the most important scene, I think, in terms of how the film shifts. Because for me, as the film was started, and as the film starts and he makes his wish and it starts to be acted out, the film still kind of just feels like a bit of a fantasy, and this guy making his wish and going Ori. But once this scene happens, you actually start to think deeper about, okay, actually she's a victim here, and there's a lot, and those dark undertones of the situation bubble up right to the surface of the film. I think.
I find that interesting. Do you guys agree? Is that the moment where you're like, oh my god, she's a victim here? Because for me, it was a lot earlier.
It was earlier for me as well, but this sort of confirmed it.
Or on the phone, when he's on the phone to the Willow people as well, like, and you hear her screaming through the phone.
Fuck. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Obviously, it's fucked up from the start. I'm not saying that, like, oh, she's not.
Yeah, I know.
But it just becomes, I think, a lot more prevalent at that point.
I mean, come on, guys. Do you want to talk to Nikki? Do you want to talk to her?
So
Oh
good.
my god! It's like, I'm sorry. That's writing. That's just great.
Yeah.
It also made the world so much weirder than it already was. It added like a Beetlejuice level of weirdness where like
Oh, that's good.
in
Yeah.
purgatory you have a lady giving you a number that you're waiting
Yeah.
for. And this one's like you can call them and you're like, do you want to talk to her? Like it's so it's
Yeah,
so
it's
good, it's so
glorious.
original.
I have a theory that the person on the phone is Curry Barker. Is his voice? I think. So.
I don't know what he sounds like, but
It sounds like him.
I think I read that as well, actually.
I think you're right.
Oh,
I
that's
heard
cool.
he contributed a voice. That must be it.
It's a nice Scorsese, Shyamalan type.
Yeah.
Also,
yeah.
it's quite. This, like you said, this movie is scary, but it's also quite funny as well. There's moments of wait, the dialogue's just like what? Do you know
We
when he
spoke
calls and
about
he's
this.
like,
It's yeah.
oh, you have, yeah, sorry, oh, yeah, okay, I'll go back.
No,
and
no,
listen.
please,
Oh,
go
yeah.
Well, I mean, and even it's the absurdity of like near the end. I don't know if we're getting spoilery or not, but his friend's wish, how it comes true like immediately, and you're like,
Yeah,
that's like a frogs raining in Magnolia. Like, oh wow, he's really sort of like branching
went
out
there.
into this. Yeah, we went there.
Yes.
Okay, that's because everybody has that wish. I wish for this, and then it happened. And you're like, oh yeah, I guess maybe that's what it would be like. Who knows? Yeah.
Yeah.
You wouldn't think it'd happen exactly like that so instantly
Right.
as
Yeah.
well.
It's
which
just
suddenly
strange,
just
so
falling down.
funny. Yeah.
And it's weird to say that at that point, that's when the movie tips into absurdity, considering what we've already watched. But it does feel that way, right?
Yeah.
And one thing I couldn't figure out as well, and I was almost screaming at the screen for one of the actors to do it. If you wish for $100 million, however much he wished for, and then and bear in mind you're in the guy's living room, so you're inside, and it starts raining money from the ceiling. Why does no one look up?
I noticed
at the source of where the money's coming.
Where's it coming from?
They just look dead ahead to each other.
I can understand. What's his name? The main character.
Bear.
Bear. I can understand Bear not doing it because he's just kind of like, whatever. I've experienced
Like,
this
I
already.
told you.
But the other guy should be like,
yeah.
Just kind of looking up like that. They just both look at each other and have the money.
Yeah, again, and I'm willing to let that go because I guess that's the absurdity of the moment.
Yeah.
But well, sorry, Steph, what were you saying?
I was just going to mention when he's on the phone, when he calls at the number at the back of the box and it's like, would you like to cancel your wish? And it's like, yeah. Well, first he was like, no, I don't want to cancel it. I want to adjust it. And he's like, well, you can't adjust the wish. Okay, so I can cancel it. Sorry, you can't cancel the wish. Like, why would you say in the first place? It's the same thing when he goes to the shop and he's like, he's looking for the one wish willows and he can't find him. He's like, and he comes in with his energy. The guy's like, hey, bro, first of all, don't come in here with this energy. Like, I'm not appreciating this energy. I'm not really liking it. Second of all, I'm fucking with you. They're right there.
It's excellent. It's excellent. And to what you were saying as well, Hannah, you're right. It really does. It makes it like an extended world. This whole One Wish Willow aspect of it, and there being a helpline, and I'm not surprised. I mean, I saw an interview with Curry Barker talking about how he's got a great idea for a sequel, and I'm like, yes, of course. It does feel like naturally you can now. Where else can you play in this world that he's starting to develop, right? So I'm not surprised.
I saw that one, and I also saw another interview he did where he was thinking of maybe doing like a mini series where we have different creators and directors doing an episode per wish, but it's all about the One Wish Willow, and some wishes are good and some wishes are bad. Like, and then he so it went all horror, because then you have different interpretations of how far you go. It's sort of like the what's that horror series that just comes out every single few years, and they just do
Scream?
No. Like it's like multiple mini short films of horror.
Black Mirror?
One film. No, they go. This is like horror.
VHS. You're talking about VHS.
VHS. Yeah.
Right.
Like that. I think that'd be pretty cool.
It's not a bad idea.
You know what I think would be quite a fun approach for Cory Barker to take it is almost like the Evil Dead trilogy, where each of the, because we're already getting like little snippets of like a bit of a, you know, these quite good comedic wacky elements to this world, and like the idea around the One Wish Willows, and with the Evil Dead trilogy, like each of those films gets successively more dumb and completely out there. You know, it starts off with like this claustrophobic zombie horror and like Cabin in the Woods style, and then by the third movie it's like this time travel fantasy movie with zombies and skeletons.
Yeah.
I think that would be quite a funny way.
Yeah, the potential is there. The potential is there for sure.
I think one of the things, like what we were just talking about, that drives the movie so much and has been such a thing is like, is the character of, obviously, Navarrete is the draw. Her performance is like obviously the best part of it, but it's like, what do you make of Bear? Is he a total piece of shit? Is he caught up in the moment? Is he manipulated? Like, how sort of, where is he on the villain scale? And I think that's a good, like, you know, he obviously is a shithead for obviously different reasons. But when does that happen in the movie? When is it he's sort of caught up in this and everything's going well, and then he's kind of fighting through like her strangeness? You know, I'm always like, when does he like flip the switch of like, oh, I'm just going to keep her as this prisoner now, or like I'm going to, you know? And there's a lot of different places where he does that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great question.
I think that's the big like debated sort of thing.
For me, it's after he makes the phone call to the company on the box and they tell him what he needs to do to end it, or the only way he can end it. That's when, for me, he's like a total prick.
And you can hear her suffering like blatantly.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think the only thing I'd say to it is that, you know, I've been reading quite a bit online, and I think some people kind of say that he's kind of like a villain from the moment he makes the wish, and I don't think that's fair at all, because he doesn't know it's going to work. Like, A, he doesn't know it's going to work, and B, like he doesn't know it's going to everything is going to act out like the way it does, and it's going to have this much of a control over her. So I think that's an unfair way to interpret it. But
I agree with that.
As it goes on, and he can see, and he's like, because it gets to a point where he blatantly understands what's happening with her and that what he's doing wrong, but he still goes along with it, and it's, you know, obviously it's at that point. But
I think that he's incredibly frustrating at times as a lead character, because he's so inactive, he's so passive. He doesn't really take action. You know, he explores a couple of things and then he just lets it go. And but that's who he is as a person. I mean, he couldn't even tell her in the beginning, I like you. You know, he couldn't bring himself to do it. He'd rehearsed a whole speech and he still couldn't get it out. And so I think that's important from a character perspective going into this, so that we know that he's a guy who just can't face up to things. He can't follow through on things. He shies from it. And so to watch him try and navigate this whole thing, especially when the you know, the burr, 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 you know, I don't want to spoil that moment, but I was like, dude, what? You know, I was really watching him in that moment and going, okay, now there has to be a shift in the movie for his character, like times 10. And to the movie's credit, they kind of keep it there for him.
Yeah.
This is the end game. Yeah.
I mean, you know, everyone talks about Indy's performance, and rightfully so, but I think Bear, who was played by Michael Johnston, I think he does a great job as well, like, you know, portraying a character with this really like nervous disposition and lack of confidence. And because realistically, like, I think he's like a really good looking guy, and he's kind of on the surface seems as someone who should be quite confident, but it's totally that dynamic, especially in those opening scenes between him and Nikki, like, it's totally believable about understanding the dynamic in their friendship group and where he sits. So I think he does a really good job.
I agree with you. Yeah, I agree with you. You're right. I think naturally he's just blown off the screen by Navarrete, but that's just by the nature of the film that's being told.
Sure.
But you're right.
Right,
I
yeah.
think he does his role well enough. I agree. I think they all do. To be fair, they all do.
He does a good job at just making the audience hate him for either not doing something. Well, it's kind of both doing something and not doing something, because the whole reason we're in this is because he did something, and by the middle of the film, towards the end, you're sort of like, you're not doing anything about it either. So it's like very frustrating to watch him.
It's funny because it's like there's this, what he plays really well is this dawning horror and realization inside that, oh shit, something's really fucked up here, and I think I fucked up. How do I fix it? I don't want to lose her. At the same time, there's something pretty great about me being with this woman that I love so much, the love of my life. And yet, maybe I should, maybe I shouldn't. How much more can I just wait this out? And one of the best moments for me with that character was his non-reaction to his friend's house party, and they're playing the drinking game.
The beautiful Hansel Gretel poem.
I was, from that moment, that when she was reading that and she describes what she did with his forearm. Do you remember that detail in what she's reading at? And she's like, I rolled it up, I cut it off his forearm. And I'm listening to that poem or whatever that she's reciting. And she's like, I cut off the skin of his forearm and rolled it up and used it. I was dreading that returning. I was like, oh no, that's foreshadowing. I don't like it. And so,
That's true. Yeah.
The whole rest of the movie, I was like, please don't happen. Please don't happen. I don't want to see it. I don't want to see it. And you're just like in the back of my head, like all this other crazy shit's happening. And I'm like, just don't do that, please. Totally uncomfortable scene.
And the thing is, like when she goes mental with the bottle, and obviously naturally everyone in the room is losing their shit, and he's just sat in the chair, and even his friends like, what the fuck's wrong with you, dude, get up. And he's just sat there. I felt that. I wasn't like, oh you prick. I was like, I get the total helplessness. I give up. I'm lost. I thought that was a really cool touch.
I was confused right after that moment, and this is just an odd thing with the movie that they sort of gloss over. Remember, they're taking her to the hospital, and they won't admit her, and they're having that argument, and I was unsure what that was all. I mean, it's a tiny nitpick if it was just something they glossed over, but he's like trying to take her to the emergency room, and they won't. They're like, no, get out of here. I'm not sure what was going on.
I don't recall.
It just kind of skipped. It's just a brief moment, but I'm like, man, that's weird. There's no reason why they wouldn't take her, even if she was just drunk or whatever. They're still gonna, help her. I don't know.
Yeah,
I thought that was an odd moment, but whatever.
Yeah, because you don't hear any dialogue at all. You just sort of see the nurse and him going back and forth, and then she walks over to the car, takes a look at her, and she's sort of like, no.
Oh, is it like an exterior shot?
Yeah, it's just one shot. Yeah, the back.
With the car. Yeah. Okay, it's coming back to me. Yeah, I don't remember. I don't recall.
Doesn't she get out the car?
She does. She does, and then she dances.
Yeah.
While he's still talking to the nurse in front of the headlights. But also, did anybody catch what the name of the hospital was? Because maybe it was, I don't know if it was an asylum type situation, because they do have strict rules about you can't take people in if they are not fully conscientious. So if they think that you're under the influence, even if you're a caretaker, they can't do that.
So it was like a psychiatric ward?
Point.
Yeah, I don't know if it was that, if he was trying to admit her on that case, but and not just her injury, but they'd be like, she's clearly not in a state of mind that we can admit her. So I don't know. I was wondering what the text.
It could have been something like that, like trying to commit her of some sort in some way, and they won't allow that. I never even thought about that.
But also because she had the shit on her face too. So
yeah, right.
Yeah. Not very clear, but yeah. Okay, that would make sense. That would make sense. She's also from the social media world and everything like that, and I looked her up, and I'm like, is she? Maybe she was, but she's been in some things. She was in 13 Reasons Why. She's in a CW show called Superman and Lois. She's in 47 episodes of that. So, okay, so she was working. She was in the business. She, I was under the impression they plucked this girl up like from out of nowhere, but she wasn't from out of nowhere. She's been working for quite a while. And I love how much fun they seem to be having on this whole promotional press tour for the movie too, because I saw a clip the other day of her just maybe at a film festival or some awards thing, just looking into the camera and going, no, 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 no.
Yes, she's playing all the meme hits. She's doing it. Yeah, I see that all the time. Yeah.
Another thing that really just made me laugh out loud in the final moment where it's all going to shit in the house is when she jumps up from him and is like moving back in slow motion, right? And talking in slow motion. And he's just like, what the fuck? And he backs up and he's like, you're really scaring me. And she's standing in the doorway in silhouette. And then she just goes, and she lunges for him. And he throws himself back and he hits his head. He's like, you're scaring me. The way that she takes that initial 2-step lunge at him made me die laughing. I was like, insanity.
Great physical work. Yeah, it's so great.
Yes.
Like when she's all of her physicality, and we seem to be going back to, and I never even thought about this, back to the bedroom where all the creepy shit happens. Like she's in the corner, and it's like one of those things like with the mouth moving. It's like you really have to almost lean into the camera. You have to lean into the screen and be like, is she in that corner talking? Then she moves and you're like, it makes you just kind of recoil a little bit. And it's just one of those, like you were saying earlier, like a bad dream that everybody sort of had where there's somebody in the room, like a shadow.
Yeah.
And so that's just great. I love that stuff. It's so cool.
Yeah. And I love that there's a point in the movie where he goes to her, can you stop moving like that? Because she's walking in this really...
You got to stop doing the weird shit at night, please. You got to stop doing the weird shit.
Yeah, he's like, well, you can sleep. Yeah, you just got to just stop doing the weird shit at night, okay? Yeah.
Thing is, she does that stuff, and then the next day she's like, I'm really sorry about last night. And how many times can that happen over and over again before you're like, no. Stop apologizing, just don't do it anymore, please.
Yeah.
I think, the moment after the cat, I would be like, no, we're not going any further. No.
And it's brilliant because, that's Barker, I think, just calling to scary movie tropes and just calling them out. And in a way that just makes the film so self-aware, and so hilarious in the moment. And to Curry Barker, folks, I mean, here's me under the impression that this is his debut feature film. It's not. This is his second film. His first film was called Milk and Cereal, which came out, I think, in 2023. That was feature length. I'll say this for him. The guy is confident. And he's confident to the point where it kind of borders on a bit cheeky, on a bit cocky. But I like it because he's a bit of a showman. He's a showman. And his first film called Milk and Cereal, on the poster, it says, from the mind of Curry Barker. And it's like, dude, this is your first film. No one... That's bold, bordering on really arrogant. But in this movie, considering he edits the film as well, I thought he was really quite flashy with how he uses his name, how he uses the title, Obsession. It pans down and Obsession is almost like it's knitted onto the bed sheet, and then that final moment where the camera just tilts upside down to the TV that's static, and then written and directed by Curry Barker in the static of the TV. I was like, you cheeky motherfucker, you. I like this confidence.
I like it.
Yeah, I do. I really do. It's bold, but it works, I think.
And the pub they go to at the beginning of the film is a shot of the name of the pub, and it's like Barker's Inn or something.
I saw that too, Barker's. Yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
got a little
fair
bit of
enough.
that, yeah, a little bit of that ego. But I think just you talking about it now, I'm thinking of like Paul Thomas Anderson when he was making Boogie Nights. Not to compare the two movies, but like he was brash. He was like, he was a loudmouth. That's how he got Final Cut for like Magnolia, was kind of throwing his weight around, and just saying, I know what I'm doing. You get out of the way. He was about the same age, I think, as Curry Barker is, maybe a year
Mm,
older,
Mm.
when he broke
mm,
out. So you got to have a little bit of that, I think,
yeah,
to get this done and get it done well, like I think he did.
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I agree with you. I totally agree. Yeah, and it works. It works for me. Yeah, because it works so well, and and I honestly I can't wait to see more of this guy. I am genuinely so curious.
Mm.
Um, any other
I
thoughts
know
on the
he
movie,
was
Chloe?
originally, that going to your point there, he originally wrote he was going to star in it, right? Because isn't I haven't seen Milk and Syrup, but isn't he in it?
I'm not
He was
sure, but I think he must be because on the poster it looks like him.
Yeah,
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was originally going to play Bear in the movie and
So why?
decided against
Do
it.
you know why he didn't?
No, it was in an interview. I can't remember his explanation for that. I just remember that sticking out, that he was like, I wrote it with myself in mind, and then he went with Johnston. I don't remember why. I can't
Mm.
remember.
Yeah. Curry does. He plays
Interesting.
Milk in Milk and Cereal.
Have you seen it, Hannah?
No, I'm
Okay,
reading.
okay.
In all of his short films, I think he acts in it as well. And
He
then
acts in it.
in the
Yeah.
first
So
Yeah.
feature he did, and then the minute he doesn't, the film blows up. It's like, maybe you should stay behind the camera, buddy.
Right.
well, it's a very interesting decision because yes, being an actor myself, when you write things for you, and I know from experience, that's precious. When you write for you, you stand by that and you don't let anyone take it from you unless you have literally no other choice. Like
Mm.
Stallone with Rocky, you know?
Right.
And it must take a lot to give up a role. It doesn't matter if you're directing it or you're writing it. To give up your face on screen, that's a big thing to do. So I was wondering, Larry, actually, I was watching it like, how did he have the restraint to keep himself off camera? So to hear that was originally for him, interesting. That's very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that was his choice or whether it was somebody else's.
Yeah, exactly.
Gosh, I wish I could remember his whole explanation for it, but I just remember him saying that, and I can't even remember where I heard it. He's been everywhere. He's on,
Yeah.
he's on your
Yeah.
phone. He's on wherever,
Yeah.
wherever you look, wherever you turn.
So I do wonder now about what's the way forward for young independent filmmakers. What's the way forward for me?
Mm.
I've done short films, I've put them up on YouTube, but you have to get a following. And how do you gain that following? And I'm thinking to myself, the only way you can do that is to be consistent. And when I say you have to be so consistent. You need to be knocking out. I think again, like you said, Larry, he's everywhere. So I heard this from Barker himself, but he's like, you have to just make movies, whether they're good, whether they're bad. You need to make movies and you need to get it out there. That's all well and good. That's much harder to do than it is to execute. That takes up time, that takes up money. And, sometimes life isn't built up like that, for certain people. You got responsibilities, you got commitments, you got so much that takes up so much of your time. And so I've been really thinking about lately. I had a conversation with a friend recently, and he kind of kicked my ass a bit because he was kind of like, what the fuck are you doing? I was like, what do you mean? He was like, what's going on? Why haven't you written anything in years? Why aren't you acting anything? I was like, well, I can't. I've got a shit agent. I haven't got anywhere. He was like, so what? Why aren't you making something? I'm like, well, because I can't. It's hard. I'm trying to explain it. He's like, why don't you just do it? He's like, no one knows who you are. He went, you think this Curry Barker guy just came out of nowhere? No one knew. No one knew who he was. He's probably been working his ass off for like over a decade more. And I was like, yeah. What the fuck? What can I say to that? And so, but it really lit a spark in me to really think. I've been thinking now every day, what can I do? And I've got a phone, and I've literally been thinking about just making a film written, directed by, starring, edited by me, if I don't have anyone else I can use, and I do have some people, but can I just do something myself, get it out there, put it on YouTube, send it to festivals? Sometimes you wait for the perfect storm, and that perfect storm is, ideally I want a budget of 50,000, and I can have this many people, and I can stage this scene, I can have an editor, I can have a cinematographer, producer. You want the whole shebang, and sometimes you just don't have that. And when I look at what Curry Barker's been doing, for years now, that I thought he was doing dead end work. I'll be honest with you. I thought, he's a social media guy and that's it. Well, fucking, I've been proved wrong. He was always just putting shit out there, and it didn't look as if it took that much effort. He had a small team. Sometimes the background was one of those fixed backgrounds, so they're playing waiters or patrons in a restaurant. They've got the table, they've got the notepad, everything behind them is fucking fake, but they're just getting the work out there, and they built a following. So it's honestly becoming a really harsh lesson, or maybe it's a good lesson, to think. It's inspiring. I'll say that. It's inspiring.
I think that's probably what this moment is with these two movies, especially bunched together like this. This is now all this 70s movie brats coming out of USC and UCLA film school. Instead, now they're coming out of YouTube, self-taught film school type places. It's not Lucas and Scorsese and De Palma coming out of those places anymore. It's these kids now. And this is where they're doing what you're talking about doing. I think that's probably what a lot of this phenomenon is it excites people like that, to where they're like, that's something that attainable, right? It doesn't feel like I have to go to New York University and I have to be taught by Spike Lee, and I have to go here and I have to go to Paramount and get a $10 million budget for this film and sell my thing in Hollywood with a bunch of suits. I just put it out there, and if they find it, then I can get the ball rolling. I think maybe it's just it's sort of like a grassroots. This is a different route that's working right now, and maybe we can turn this into the new, I don't want to say normal, but like a new lucrative pathway for filmmakers and creative people to sort of like share their ideas. I think it's pretty cool. It's pretty exciting that it inspired you that much. Right there is just says all you need to say about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I totally agree with that, Larry. Like, I can really understand why that would become a new pathway into it. There's a lot of discussion around film school and whether it's worth it, or if it's kind of a bit of fluff, that kind of thing. There's no better school for film than actually making films, and there's no better way of proving yourself as a filmmaker and as someone who can gain attention than having the social media or YouTube
having the
just upload as you wish.
The content, the word that I sort of recoil at using, but like having the stuff out there is step one now, it seems.
It could almost be less risk for a production company to take someone out of film school who's made like one short film but done 3 years of film school than someone who's proved themselves online by making countless shorts or films and actually prove themselves to be able to gain an audience.
Right.
Yeah, and I think it was 750,000 was the budget for this. I mean, that for a massive powerhouse production company like Blumhouse, 750,000 for them to go, yeah, that's punt money. I can take a punt on this filmmaker. Let's see what happens, because if he doesn't make that back, we're good.
Easy write-off.
Yeah, easy write-off. And it's, I mean, millions.
It's one of the most profitable horror movies of all time. Probably
I think it's past Blair. Go ahead.
Blair Witch, Does it pass them or no? Because I was like, that was the other wave of horror.
Right, it's up there. That's the late 90s, the found footage. That was another sort of like, anybody can throw this together. You don't have to have these like big production budgets, especially 90s horror was all like, I guess, bigger Scream type movies. And it's like, no, you can do this with a camera in the woods with your friends.
That's
it's the same
true.
kind of thing. It's just now it's YouTube instead of like camcorder, right?
Yeah.
And I still contest today that there's probably nothing scarier than the Blair Witch Project. you know, little DV camcorder and people going like this on the tent and screaming in the woods. That scares the shit out of me. And even that film, anchored by this brilliant performance by the lead actress. I mean, I know it's been parodied in Scary Movie and all of that, but her fear and the levels it goes to, the uncontrollable out of your body fear that is captured on camera is insane.
I remember I was 18 when that came out, and that whole summer we thought that those people had died. Like we thought that we were like, you're going in like, these people really died. You're telling your buddies, we got to go see this. These people were killed, right? But then I saw him on the MTV Movie Awards like a week after the movie came out. I'm like, why are you guys? No. I was like upset that they didn't get killed, but like,
great.
But I was like, you should have stayed low key for a little bit longer to sell it a little bit longer. I thought they came out really early there.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah.
Too excited.
Yeah.
This is what I love about Obsession, is that it's if you look at it, it's not really a horror movie where you need a lot of CGI and these big set pieces, and it's like you could probably make this at home with your iPhone with your friends, minus like a few scenes here and there where they need a few effects and stuff like that, but you could do it. It's actually a pretty simple idea, but it's not just the simplicity, it's about how it's done, which makes it so good.
Yeah, and I think even 750,000, how far they took that budget is pretty impressive too, considering that the what effects they do use, the gore, the special effect is really good, very effective. At no point do I look at the movie and think cheap,
No, it looks
to its credit,
really well. Yeah, really well put together.
Great choice, Steph. I'm glad you were like, turn around. We need to watch this. Any other final thoughts on this, folks?
Yeah.
Go for it.
I have thoughts for days. Do you know what really annoyed me about my nap is that I was supposed to write down all these things I wanted to mention, and then I just didn't because I was asleep. So
you were speaking out your notes in your sleep. Your mouth wasn't moving, but you were.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the film, because the friend I was talking to about it is a woman, and I think men and women, from what I've seen, have quite a different outlook on the film. Whereas women straight away are like, right, I think women will pick up that she's a victim a lot before men will, and the film is like it's basically about, this is what some women are saying, this is what I kind of noticed as well, it's basically about sexual assault and how she had no option in any of this, and how he kind of put himself onto her. He made her come to, when he made the wish, this was nothing she could control. It's him being like the man, and sort of, this is what I want, so I'm going to go for it. And even like, do you remember, if you guys remember the scene where they first, or I don't know if it's the first one or second time, I think there's a bit of a montage bit, but the first time they have sex, she is like straight faced, not enjoying it, making the sounds because he's not looking at her, and it's sort of like that in that moment. I mean, she is being sexually assaulted. She can't do anything about it. This is the other indie sort of
Nikki, right?
Nikki, the other Nikki taking having this moment to please him, but she's not enjoying it whatsoever. And so when you hear the screams down the phone when she's like, do you want to speak to Nikki? This is what she's been feeling the entire time. And what annoys me about Bear is that he's such a weak man that he doesn't ever really put his foot down and do the right thing in the entire film. And even at the beginning, so what I was telling my friend is that at the beginning of the film, he drops her home. He wants to have this moment with her. He's looking at his friend and he's going like, leave. We need to have this moment to tell her how I feel. At the beginning of the movie opens with him practicing on the waitress about what he wants to say to her. And it's all well and good practicing, but then does it ever come to that moment where he does that? No, because he had made the wish where he's now realizing she's different and has feelings for him, and is basically chasing him. But at no point, when he didn't make the wish and he drops her off. Oh, did you want to say something? Yeah, you know what? I forgot. It's like he can't just put his foot out and go, I'm just gonna be upfront and say this, because he's scared. And then even towards the end of the film, when he is in the bathroom and he's like, this is the only way out, I've got to kill myself, because this is where it's gotten to now. Look, all my friends are dead because, spoilers, all the friends are dead because of what I've done. But then even then, I'm sure that there's part of him that's probably not really been like, this is all my fault, but just sort of, this is kind of what's happened through my decision, But he gets the gun and he's like, what angle should I go here? Should I go there? No, I can't do that. Okay, I'll take some pills. And he pops open, takes some pills, and he's there for a moment, and you see him kind of just like dealing with the decision he's made, and then let me throw them up. And then it's like, that's when she makes the wish, so it stops him from throwing up the pills. So throughout the entire film, he's just been such a weak character, can't stick to anything, he can't even kill himself to save a woman he's completely doomed for her entire life. And then at the end of the film, you're like, well, thank God, he dies and she's got the gun.
So we're going like, maybe we should preface it's full spoiler territory.
Full spoiler territory. Also, if you haven't seen this film, that's your loss. What are you doing? You go watch it.
Yeah, why are you here? Yeah. Go watch it. Yeah.
Fuck. We're gonna have to put that in the title of the show. Spoiler. Yeah. Spoiler full.
Yes.
Spoiler review. It's an hour and 6 minutes. What do you think we're talking about? Come on. And so at the end, where she doesn't, she's about to kill herself because she's so in love with him. He's died. She wants to kill herself. And then she snaps out of it. And we're like, thank God that, she didn't kill herself. And then she's screaming and camera turns back, end of the film. We're like, great, she snaps out of it. Her life is ruined.
Yeah.
Her friends are dead. There's probably camera footage of her murdering her friend in the parking lot. All of her friends are gone. Her body is damaged.
Mangled.
She's got it's completely fucked. There's one point where she's like, I want to look pretty again. And I think that was sort of real Nikki and bad Nikki talking at the same time. And so you're just like, this man has put this woman through shit, and she's going to still have to deal with those consequences after he's gone. Same as sexual assault. It happened, but even if it doesn't happen again, that's something they have to deal with for the rest of their life.
Yeah, there's no happy ending to this. It's the ironic thing is it's a fucking hilarious film, darkly hilarious in so many moments, but it's bleak. And where Barker chooses to end it is bleak.
So this twisted, not that Romeo and Juliet's ending isn't dark enough, but it's sort of this like really messed up twist on that whole, like the where he's just gotten the poison in, and then she snaps him out of it, and they just miss each other, and they're passing. I was thinking Romeo and Juliet, even though it doesn't end exactly the same. I was like, that's sort of like a really, really even darker, more fucked up version of that whole thing.
Yeah.
The thing is, how soon did he realize that it was the one wish willow that's working? Pretty like straight away, right?
I'm pretty sure it was instantly, because he looks back at the, after she has a moment, he looks back at the thing and sort of like,
right,
was that the thing I just did?
Right. I'm curious. I don't know if any of you have any answers to this. Do you think she was into him? Just Nikki?
No, she mentions it. They tell us. Sarah says, "Look,
she was off with Ian,
she was sleeping with Ian on and off for 2 years, and she told Sarah that she thinks of him as a brother. That's what the poem is about at the party, the Hansel and Gretel. It's about them having an incestuous relationship.
She thinks of Bear as a brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, she thought of Bear as a brother. That was the kind of love she had for him. And then it feels so much more fucked, and that's why that poem is even more disgusting than you think it is. It's not just disturbing; it's about their dynamic.
I love that.
And also the fact, like the way she describes, I forget that it's a hand, Larry, until you brought it up, and I was like, it's kind of, when I think about it now, it's like that grotesque hand description of hers is like he's puppeteering her, which is what he's doing.
Yeah.
Like snapping
Ooh.
that way.
like
It's like,
that, yeah.
and in a disgusting and volatile way that she describes it, because that's what it feels like to be possessed by somebody else's desires, regardless of you being your own person. It's really gross.
Ooh, wow.
That's a fascinating read. I love
That's
that.
very cool. And what a slap in the face. I mean, when they revealed that she was sleeping on and off with his best friend, oh, I was so fucking mad for Bear. I really was. When the best friend, fuck it, we're in spoiler territory now. When the best friend gets shot in the head at the end, I was like, good, you motherfucker. You kept that from me for 2 years? You know I'm in love with this girl and you're sleeping with her, but who would do that to your best
Yeah.
friend?
Isn't he at the end knocking on the door too? He's totally. He doesn't even care that she's all messed up. He's like, I got $1 billion. Come on, come with me.
worked.
Like
Yeah.
we're gonna leave, you know. And he doesn't even realize that she's just all mangled, like you were saying. It's just a crazy. Yeah.
There's his friend Ian has basically set Bear up from the beginning, because the conversation they're having at the diner, he's
Right.
watching him like practice and all that stuff, and then he goes, and bear in mind, Ian has been sleeping with Nikki, on and off. We don't know that yet, but in hindsight, looking back, they have obviously had a relationship together, probably know each other quite a bit, and he says to Bear, oh yeah, you should say this, and bring up Freaky Nikki. She likes that, just be like, he knows she
That's
likes
right.
that.
Yeah, right.
So he's
right.
setting Bear up for this whole path to basically fail, knowing that she's not going to be into him, because I know she's not into him. But go ahead, give it a go anyway. So when we actually start getting together, this is why he's so like, what is happening?
Everyone's like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
I love the very first, like the day out where he's talking to his friend in the foreground, and then Nikki's just standing at the cash register at the background the
Just
entire
looking, yeah.
time. You're just like, oh shit. Yeah.
And I've got to say, I love the song that Barker takes us out to, that hold me, kiss me.
Yes.
You know what's so fucking annoying? I wanted to use that song at my wedding as like the entrance to us entering.
Can't do that anymore.
Can't do that.
Back to the drawing board.
The first time I heard it was the movie Priscilla, and Sophia Copley used it
that's right,
in the
yeah.
wedding scene between Elvis and Priscilla. I was like, this is a tune. I love this. I like the irony of the song being called Forever. It's a nice ironic song to close to.
Also, I might add as well with the music, not just the soundtrack, but the music used in the film was really good. I think when music would come in and out, not the soundtrack, but just songs that he'd choose to use,
Like diegetic
and edited
music,
really well. Yeah,
played within this. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think it was edited well, and I think he edited the film too. So there you go.
Yeah. Jack of all trades.
I watched this film because I do a lot of closing shifts at work, so I don't have a lot of time to. And our horror movies we show late at night, so I can't really watch the films that we're showing for horror films. I watched this film after a closing shift at work, and I was like, sent everyone home, turned off the lights, and I was like, let me just watch it. Let me put it up on the projector, and I'll watch it because it's the only way I'm going to get it seen. And
you're so fucking lucky, dude.
That's awesome. Yeah,
I'm definitely not allowed to do this, but there you go. I don't think anybody from work listens to my podcast, so
hopefully not.
We'll find out.
Yeah, call me in for a meeting tomorrow. Yeah, so I finish up, and I've obviously had to turn off all the lights because I can't look like we're open from the outside. People are going to be asking questions. So I'm out and I'm waiting for an Uber because it's like 3 a.m, and I'm voice noting that friend I told you guys about. So I'm going, yeah, I've just seen the film. She's seen it as well, so I'm sending her a bunch of voice notes. And as I'm pacing back and forth in the lobby, waiting for my Uber, it's like 9 minutes away. I'm pacing back and forth, I'm talking, I'm going, yeah. And my eyes are wandering outside. It's pouring down with rain. And my eyes are wandering outside. I look up at we have these like apartment block for students across the cinema. And I'm not even joking. There is a woman, black hair, shadowed figure with light behind her staring at me. And first of all, don't know how she knew I was in this cinema, but she probably saw the light on my phone pacing back and forth. and I look up, and I'm the mid voice note, like I could play it back, and you just hear me go, and the film's just Jesus Christ, and it just stopped, and I'm staring at her, and she's just staring back, and I'm like, is this real or am I imagining this? Then I'm waiting for a few seconds, and I'm still on the voice note, and I'm like, I think I'm seeing, and then somebody else comes into view next to her, and I was like, and it was a guy, and I was like, oh, thank fuck. I thought that was the end of me there for a second. So it really put the cherry on the top of.
That's a perfect ending. That's a better ending than the movie. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
amazing. The shit out of me.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Shall we do ratings, folks? Out of 5. What would we give this?
First.
Stefan first. I have a feeling it's going to be a 5, isn't it, Steph?
Yeah, it is. I left it the first time I watched it with a 4 in mind, and then I discussed it with my friend, and I was like, "This is a 4.5." And then recently this week, I was like, "No, it's a 5. It's a 5."
You know, I do agree with you, Steph, that the movie does grow in your mind. So you have an impression of the movie when you watch it, and you're right. There's something about the film that you can't stop thinking about it, and it only grows in your mind, and you think better. At least for me, it sounds like it was the same for you. You think better of it. Yeah, it only grows better in your estimation. So it's a 5. I am still at a 4 mark. It didn't blow me away, but I think it's a solid film. I think it's very good, and that puts it at a 4 for me. Yeah. Luke?
The thing is, it's a film that I reacted to like so viscerally. Like I couldn't even sit still for a minute watching this movie. That I can't really give it less than a 4.5. So I think that's a fair place to put it. Also, we never even spoke about cooking the cat, but oh well.
Yeah,
Cat sandwich.
What does the note say?
Verdict, like what's the verdict? Cat? Question
Cat.
Mark. She's like, what does that mean?
Inside joke.
Yeah. But he says it twice. He says it the first time when she, the pictures she sent, like of him sleeping, by the way, and then he's like looking at it, and what's that? Inside joke. Doesn't show her, and then again right at the end, and she's like, what does that mean? He's like so traumatized, but he goes, inside joke.
And he throws up as he says inside joke. Yeah. That's quite funny. Honestly, I should really give the movie a point less, because you never murder the cat in the movie. I'm sorry. The cat or the dog. Don't do that. Number 1 rule. Cool. So, Luke, 4.5?
Yeah.
Larry?
I think I'm with you, Chris. I think I'm going to stick with 4 right now, because I remember when I first left the theater, I was like, that was nice. That was solid. That was sturdy. I enjoyed that. But talking about it today, I feel like I should give it another half. You know, I talking about it with a crowd. You know, I see a lot of these movies on my own. I just, whenever I have time, I go up there, sneak away to the movies. And so like having this conversation sort of brought out different things. But I think I'll stick with 4 until I actually see it again, and I'm going to pay attention to the music next time too.
Cool.
Yeah.
Lovely. I'll note it. Hannah?
I'm giving it a 5. I don't really watch many horror films, but this alongside Hereditary are some of the ones that I love, and I see myself rewatching it a lot. So.
It does have a really big rewatchability. Like you can just kind of like once you've seen it, now you can go back and just kind of enjoy all the little things that go on.
Yeah.
Also, something really simple is they don't take us out of the story to introduce the title. It's just like goes down on the bed and is it roses or like embroidered roses that spell obsession? And I was like,
something like that. Yeah.
Like that's I don't know who came up with that, but I was like, thank you. Don't give me
totally.
That was just so different, and like I really appreciated that.
Yeah, and it's a movie. It feels like a movie that you absolutely, like you said at the beginning, Larry. You can see why word of mouth is spreading, and it feels like a movie you watch and you go, ooh, like you did, Steph. And you're like, now I need to go and bring all my friends. because they need to see this. You
Yeah.
know, it feels like this is a film you need to watch with as large a group as possible to get the best experience out of it.
I think you should. I think from watching it a second time, you should all give it another go as well. Maybe not necessarily watch in the cinema, but when it comes out on like streaming or something, give it another go and start picking up all these small things. You're like, this makes sense towards the end where this has happened because they've just here. There's so many small things that you'll notice. It's really brilliant.
Has anyone seen Milk and Cereal, Curry Barker's first film?
No, but I had some this morning. Is that close enough?
Are we all going to watch that now? I assume yes.
I'll give it a go. Yeah.
I don't know how available it is, but I don't know if it's on YouTube or not, but absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I want to go and watch that.
For you guys, I'll do it. Anything for the
Absolutely.
podcast.
We'll put it in here. Zaylin sent over a message, the manager of Phoenix Cinema, today, and he said, I really enjoyed Obsession. Good acting, strong start and finish, a bit repetitive in the middle. 3.75, hands down the horror success of the year. You can always rely on Zaylin to give the 0.75 on anything. I love it. I love it. Excellent. Cool. Thank you all so much for joining today. And Hannah, you have the next pick in the film club. What have you got for us? Judging by your expression, it's like...
Caught off guard.
Can you guess it's nothing? Because I really thought there was one more person. If you need an audio clip of me saying what the next movie is, I will happily jump back on, but I don't have anything. And I can't.
Not necessarily. No, that's fine. That's fine. What you can do is just text it when you have it in the group, and I'll put the word out, and we'll watch it.
Sorry, Hannah, you cut out there. What year was Nothing? I'm waiting for the next person released.
Get out of here. 1993.
Thank you all so much.
Thank
you, Luke. Thank you, Stefan. Thank you, Larry, and thank you, Hannah. It was lovely talking this movie with you all, and I hope to see you all again soon.
And you know what? This is not the final talk either. I feel like you guys are gonna be like on message, be like, oh, by the way, I just thought of this.
On the rewatch, yeah. Larry will email me and be like, so I just listened to Obsession again.
yes. I'm gonna go drive around, listen to the soundtrack. And see if I can.
All right, folks. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
And yes, thank you all for joining today and listening. I hope I hope to see you on the next one. Whatever that movie will be, Hannah will let us know. Until then, this is the Phoenix Cinema Podcast Film Club, and we hope you enjoyed listening. Happy watching, and bye for now.